happening, family? Signs and seasons, cycles and circles. And we're getting ready to put this shade cloth up on our hoop houses. It's just ironic that today is the day we're doing it, where we're going to experience a solar eclipse. Because what the shade cloth does, it kind of does what the eclipse does. The eclipse is the sun. The eclipse is the light. It creates more shade so that on the hoop houses and the grow houses that you see, which are becoming more and more necessary for growers all over the world because of the climate change that we're experiencing, it creates more shade and therefore more coolness. So those bok choys and broccoli and everything that you love so much, that would naturally have grown well in a climate that we had a real spring that don't just turn into summer real quick, they can continue to thrive. The lettuces and the salad greens that you love all year, they don't really do well in extreme heat. They get bitter. So with this shade cloth, that's what we're able to do, you know? So what is not is something that are attempting to make us eat foods out of season. I want to say that. That's not what it is. What it is the ingenuity of the human mind helping us to stay on top of what's been happening with the poison that comes out of the human mind or the human influence. What poison I'm talking about? I'm talking about the poison of dramatic shifts in the weather based on environmental toxins, you know? So in a nutshell, we use what we got to get what we want. So we're gonna put these shade cloths up, and the result for you is more greens. Just like in the winter time, that plastic is there. Which will help the temperatures to be a little bit, at least 10 degrees warmer than they are outside. So shade cloth, or let me just say hoop houses, are season extensions, or season extenders. Everybody's heard about the greenhouse effect. Well, just like there's a lot that is rightfully let me say, I don't want to use the word lamented, you know, but there's a lot that's happening in the world right now. There's the climate change is real, you know. The climate change is real, and it's drastic. And it's not about saving the earth. It's about saving humanity, because the earth gonna do what she do, right? It's about making the earth habitable for humanity, right? So with all that being said, what these simple things, these simple measures that farmers all over the world are taking are just to make food accessible for us in the midst of all this madness that's going on. That's just the bottom line. You know, so like in my country where I come from, Guyana, the first time I heard of shade cloth is when my uncle, I was coming home and my uncle told me to bring some for him. And that was about the fact that during that year, the La Nina, which brought more water than ever, it had it so the farmers could not grow. They could basically only get one crop because the ground was so saturated. But also with the extreme heat, it made it difficult. These are tropical places, you know, you can grow. But I want to say one more thing about eating out of season, because I'm a very much an advocate of eating regionally and eating in season. That's why we don't sell things at our market that don't grow, that are not grown more than a day's journey away, right? this thing about eating in season and eating out of season is nuanced now because the seasons are shifting dramatically based on human influence, not based on just the natural shift of seasons, like the natural shift from winter to spring. So when we were looking at what was happening in Guyana, for instance, the reason I wanted to mention that is pak choy. Before this year, you'll see at Oyun, Botanical Gardens, and a lot of our other on-the-farm sites, we have a bunch of bok choy growing this year. Bok choy is an example of food that grows very well in a hot climate like Guyana. So it's not that they can't grow in the heat. It's because of the drastic shifts. It's because here we are in the beginning of April, and I pray it don't happen, but we've experienced before the lockdown where things kind of got cool for a minute. The temperature, the atmosphere got cooler because there weren't all these planes and trains and automobiles rolling all over the place. We would experience a nice cool spring and then all of a sudden a spike. That's not natural. That's because of human influence, right? So that's how we do it. We're helping to balance out the human influence that has become very toxic in many ways with some of the human influence in terms of our using our ingenuity that can bring things to balance again. Instead of sitting around crying about what they doing and how the world is going, humans have always done something beautiful, which is put their hearts and their minds together to make things better for themselves. So this is just a small example of that. You ready? So what we need to do, all humanity can ever do is mirror creation. We can't make up nothing in our imagination that don't exist in creation. That's why it's ironic. This happened to choose this day because it's about to be hot. It started getting warm. We want to keep things from the seeds from both. Or not the seeds, but the plants from both. Going to seed unnaturally. That's the key point I want to keep on emphasizing. Unnaturally because of unnatural weather. So we have to use our natural ingenuity to bring balance. We're taking on the other side and doing the same thing. About gardening too, you come on here and get your weight up. You ain't gotta go to the gym. All kind of opportunities every day to just get your good exercising. Hold on. Yeah, so over the hump. me then, baby? Okay. I'm just doing it. Touch me then. Just push it down. And you can stand on the other side and see, I got this one. Pull it. Got it? Pull. Alright. Look at the difference in there already. Alright, too much, that's too much. That's too much, Angie. Rubber right there.